Hey guys, welcome to my first YouTube video. I've been mentoring photographers for many years now, and I've thought to myself, what does the industry really need? And I thought, you know what, rather than mentoring photographers, I thought I might actually start by mentoring you guys, brides and grooms. Today's subject though is about communication, it's about language. When you're looking for photographers and videographers, you know, we have so many different photographers and videographers of choices for you to make, and you go to one person and he'll call something, you know, modern, and someone else will call it avant-garde or fashion or natural, and you know, the pose, which is such a bad word, which I like to call it perhaps direction. So what we're going to do today is go through just a few of images to kind of give you an understanding what natural is and what photojournalistic is, and you know, what my term for modern will be completely different to what your term will be. What my you know, hipster is your different type of a hipster. But you know, in terms of trends, I've seen them all come and go over the years. I've been shooting for over 20 years now, so there is not one trend that I haven't seen come, and there's not one trend that I haven't actually even been, you know, obviously a pioneer of in many ways as well. So you know, and this is where it gets confusing for you. You know, you as a client, when you're going through looking for photographers, you go through one person and I'll say, hey, you know, this is what we do. This is, you know, this is we're you know, we're boho, we're hipster, we're fashion, we're, you know, and it's like, it just confuses the hell out of you. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to show you a couple of things on my laptop in a moment, of just a few different type of images that we're going to go through. So I've actually just sort of, I've given you sort of like 6 kind of categories to look at, and a lot of these categories of photographs that you're going to see here are going to be basically can sort of transcend into other categories depending on your photographer as well and your videographer. I think the key after this whole video is communication. You need to communicate. You need to tell them what you want, what you like, and try to have some examples of what that looks like to you, and what your language is, and in terms of what you think is modern and what you think is, you know, natural or photojournalistic. So I'll give you an understanding. I just mentioned the word photojournalistic. So in our industry, photojournalistic is what we call natural. Natural is where we take photographs where we have no input, no involvement whatsoever. We're just capturing those moments. A good photojournalistic photographer is one that can actually anticipate moments. Someone who can actually know what's going to happen, you know, prior to, you know, prior for it even to be happening. You're probably thinking, now how can you actually preempt that? You know, many times people say to me, oh my God, you were very lucky to get that shot. You know, there is a little bit of luck, but I can guarantee you that I'm kind of anticipating that moment and know where it's going to happen. After many photographs or many weddings that you do, you kind of know when it's you know, when a moment will kind of transpire. So here's just a couple of examples of what, you know, what we show here in terms of you know, some photojournalistic moments or natural moments where we have no control of them whatsoever. So as you can see, there's laughter, there's you know, a lot of the times in the church, because we don't have any involvement in there whatsoever, they can be really cool natural photographs. The funny thing is though, when we're looking at a lot of brides that come through to me and they say, I want natural, the photographs that we take which are natural are normally the ones that are the most unflattering. We all have, you know, these kind of crazy laughs where we go like this, and we've got these kind of contorted faces, and it's like, oh my God, that looks terrible, you know, but you asked for natural. That's what we call natural. If you look at these other shots here, this folder here, which will incorporate a lot of these beautiful expressions. These expressions and these sort of type of fun shots are normally kind of directed or prompted. Now what I mean by that is that as much as you can see this, you know, little child in the air having some fun, great expressions, great movements, but you know what? If it wasn't for a photographer saying, hey, you know what, let's throw the child up in the air, have some fun with him, and you get those beautiful expressions. That's when people can always confuse what a natural photograph is as opposed to a moment captured in that time. So again, you get that sort of correlation. You know, what your modern is. You see some modern shots here at the moment. You know, you might say, well, that's not really modern. That's just another. You know, it might be an architectural shot or something. It's a little bit a different type of take. Again, understand that my modern might be completely different to your modern. We have some more photographs here. We have a very much sort of like a hipster sort of feel to the images. These images can sort of transcend from, indie or boho or any of these kind of terms that you see in Instagram and Pinterest. And again, one of the biggest things here for you to go through when you're looking at these type of photographs is making sure that this is the kind of style that you sort of want to basically look for. Fashion. There's a lot of very fashion-orientated images you can see here as well. These fashion shots, they're basically $1,000 worth of dresses, and as a fashion photographer, one of the major components of a fashion photographer is to make sure you capture all those details. When you're looking at perhaps a genre of photography where there's sort of blown out highlights, dark shadows, and all these sort of very sort of fluffy artistic type of photographs, all those details can often get missed. So if you're wearing a $30,000 dress or a $40,000 dress and you can't see those details, I would suspect you'll be pretty disappointed. So again, it's all about communication at the end of the day. We've also got nice artistic shots that you can see here as well. Now these shots, generally are artistic interpretation of photographer, but more often than not, again, as a skilled photographer, you'll find that those type of photos are generally the kind of photos that actually encapsulates a story within a story that is, about the groom or the bride, or that means something to them. Okay, so the moral of this is basically when you're looking at different styles for photographers and videographers, and you're looking at all these images, I think it's about communicating. Communication is key here. Making sure that your language is in the same language as the photographer, so that there's no disappointment. I want you to make sure you just subscribe down here. Make sure you press the little bell there as well to make sure that every time I actually put a video up that you can follow. This will, just call me the wedding mentor if you want. It's basically, I'm here to sit there and actually mentor you in the way, in terms of looking at different suppliers and what we look at through our lens and what we see every single wedding that we do. So hopefully you'll tune in. I have to go to the phone's actually just ringing. This is a business after all. So take care. I'll see you next chapter. Bye guys.